Drinking by myself. Ouch. It's here! The day is finally here. By the time this video is up, new Gilmore Girls will be in the world. So, in honour of the greatest day of the year, I'm going to be doing the Gilmore Girls book tag, which was created by Pucks and Paperbacks, whose channel I will link to below. And in between answering all of the questions, I'm also going to make a prediction, or a wish, for the Gilmore Girls revival, which I really hope to see happen. It is so terrifying that by the time this is up, I will know if I'm wrong or right. I might have had my heart totally broken. If you're out on the road. Question 1. Well, not really questions. I'm not even going to do them like questions. Scrap that. So, for this tag, basically you have to go through and find books or characters that are linked in some way to each of the Gilmore Girls characters. So, number 1 is Lorelai, and the challenge is to think of a character with a witty or sarcastic sense of humour. So, the first person that comes to my head for that is Lizzie Bennet. I feel like, as far as witty, sarcastic characters go, she's kind of the tops. Okay, and my hopes for Lorelai in this revival, I'm obviously hoping that her and Luke are happy forever because they're magical. That's my number 1 hope for this whole thing, really. But for Lorelai individually, I also... Where did we even leave her off? I can't remember where she was. She's just doing pretty well in her business, right? I hope she's still doing well. I'm excited to see what Lorelai thinks of, like, pop culture today. Here's my prediction. Lorelai Gilmore does not like emojis. Okay, number 2 is Rory, and the question here is to think of your favourite classic. So that's an easy one for me. It's easy. I know it'll be a Jane Austen book. I think that my favourite is Persuasion, but it's closely tied with Sense and Sensibility, and I go between them a lot, so I lied when I said it was easy. Now, what are my hopes for Rory? Oh, I'm so torn. I know in my brain that the best ending for her would not be to end up with one of her high school boyfriends. Obviously, that would suck. That's a backslide. She should be independent and fierce and cool, but I'm only watching this for nostalgia, and I want her to end up with Jess. I really, really want it. Really, really want it. We already know quite a lot about her from the trailer. We know that her career isn't going that well. She's kind of travelling around a lot. We know she comes to London. I think that over the course of the 4, because the whole year, we're going to see her get her career back on track. What would be quite cool is if she doesn't end up being a journalist. Like, journalist is what she always thought she was going to be, and she was quite one-track mind about it. So it'd be really cool if by the end of these episodes, she's found what her passion is, and it's a little bit unexpected from what she thought it was going to be. Like, you know, when the pictures suggested that she might be a teacher, and everyone went nuts, like, oh, that sucks, she's just a teacher. Hey, a teacher is a really cool profession if that's what you're passionate about, and I think it'd be great if she realised she wanted to be a teacher. Another nail strip. Where you leave. Okay, so the 3rd character is Luke, and for Luke, you're supposed to name a book that you secretly love but are afraid to admit it. At the time, I really loved the Twilight series, and I really didn't want to like them. Like, I refused to read them for so long until my friends made me, and I really wanted to hate them, and I'd be really cynical about them, and I would say mean things about them, but I loved them. I also did read the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, like, back to fucking back. I wolfed it down, even though I thought it was so stupid. My hope for Luke is that he ends up with Lorelai. That's the goal. I don't mind if they get married or like whatever, I just want them to be together, making each other happy like we know they can be. I guess my other hope for Luke would be that he has a really good relationship with April. I know everybody hates April, but I hated her storyline. I hated that she came in and messed everything up. But I didn't hate her, she's just a kid. And Luke was just kind of a bit shit about it, like keeping it all from Lorelai. So I hope that that has turned into a really wonderful father-daughter relationship. That's my hope there. Why does tea take so long to cool down? Now it's too cold. Okay, it's fine. Number 4 is Lane, and for that you're supposed to name a musical character. I can't really think of any musical characters. I'm drawing a blank. I'm totally drawing a blank. Have I not read any books with musical characters? I can't think of any musical characters. Sorry, I lose. I lost the Gilmore Girls tag. My hopes for Lane, I really need the Gilmore Girls reboot to give Lane a better ending than the original series did. Because Lane was so cool, and she was such a great musician, and she had such great hopes and ambitions. The last time we saw her, she ended up stuck at home with these twins, with a husband who was just kind of rubbish, and he got to go off and be in a band, and she was stuck, and it was so sad, and it wasn't what she wanted, and it wasn't what she deserved. So my hope for Lane is that she gets to be a musician. Anywhere that you tell me to. Okay, I've forgotten what number character we're on, but we're on to Dean. For Dean, you're supposed to name your first book love. So my first book love was probably Ella Enchanted. I remember reading it so many times when I was younger. I loved it so much. Dean had like a real downhill journey in this series. He was such a great first boyfriend, and then he just got worse and worse and worse, and so needy and so jealous and so annoying, until the last time we see him, he's like messing things up for everyone. He's cheating on his wife, he's getting Luke to feel all anxious about Lorelai, and then he leaves, and then that's it, and it's like, thanks for nothing, idiot. And when we first meet him, he's quite cool. He's like the cool leather jacket wearing one. But then they made Jess into the cool leather jacket wearing one, and then Dean had to become like the saddo. I hope he's back in his game. I just want good things for him. I want good things for all of them. I love them all. I'm gonna cry. Oh, and also, I want him to have a job, like, still in manual labour. I didn't like how they made it the fact that he had a manual labour job made him, like, obviously he's not good enough for Rory. I want him to be, like, top of his game, in construction, and being like, yeah, this is a great job. Because it is. Okay, next we move on to Suki, and for that one you're supposed to name a book that you have devoured. Get it? Because she's a chef. So, that is a lot of books. Recently, I See You by Claire McIntosh. Talked about that one a lot, but I read it in like 3 seconds, you know, loved it. And my hopes for her. I don't even need to make hopes for her, I know she's going to be brilliant. I'm sad that she's only in one scene, I think she's only in one scene, but I predict that it's going to be the best scene, because Melissa McCarthy is fucking ace. I hope that her husband has stopped lying to her and tricking her into getting pregnant, because that was like not at all cool. My prediction is maybe that she has invented a new type of pastry. Now we're on to my favourite. The next character on this list is Jess. For this one you're supposed to name a book that you love that gets the most hate, which is kind of similar to the question that I already answered with Twilight. So, ooh, my foot's gone dead. How, my foot has gone totally dead. I guess it would be a really popular book, because they get a lot of love, but they also, you know, the more popular they are, they get a lot of hate, which I feel is similar to Jess in many ways. He's the most popular one, I think, but he also gets a lot of hate. So, I really liked Gone Girl. A lot of people really like Gone Girl, but a lot of my friends really didn't like it. I really liked We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. That one gets quite a lot of criticism. My hopes for Jess. So many hopes for Jess. I hope that he ends up with Rory and they live happily ever after, and he's good to her and he never makes her wait for his calls, and that's my hopes. But also I hope that he's written more books and that he's like super successful author, and that we get to see that he dedicated one of the books to Luke. Oh, I was going to say Rory, but then I said Luke and it was better. Oh my goodness. I need to lie down. I hope that he cuts his hair, maybe. It's not as good as it used to be. I just hope that he gets loads of screen time. Please. The next character is Miss Patty, and you're supposed to say a book that was ruined by the hype. That gossip spreading Miss Patty, ruining everything. Yeah, I mean, hype often ruins books for me. I really didn't like The Wrath of the Dawn. I think I wouldn't have liked it anyway, but it was made worse by the fact I'd heard so much good about it. Predictions of Miss Patty. One of my favourite things with Miss Patty is when she like hints at her past lovers, so maybe she'll have a new one. We know there's going to be a musical, right? So maybe it's like Miss Patty's dance school is putting on a musical, and it's like the highlight of her career. Okay, for Emily Gilmore, you have to name an expensive book that I own. I would love one day to have a ginormous library filled with like first editions of all of these classic books, and I bet those would be pretty expensive. I don't really have any. The book behind the candle, right there, I just bought that one and it was 25 quid, which I feel like is quite expensive. I haven't spent that much on a book in a while, and it's a book I already have, but that cover, you can't really see it behind the candle, but it's so pretty, and it's Val Bodies, which is my favourite book, so I bought that one. And my hopes for Emily Gilmore, I just want her to be okay, I want her to be happy. I know that we're going to cry a lot at her storyline, and I hope that she learns like a new way of living. And finally we have Paris, and the challenge here is to name an uptight character. The first one that jumps into my head is Fanny Price from Mansell Park, because I just read that one quite recently. She is like super uptight, she's super boring. And my hopes for Paris Geller. Everybody loves Paris so much. I feel like she's such a fan favourite, and I really find her incredibly boring to watch. She's very irritating and jarring, and she talks so much and so loud, and I don't like it. So my hopes for her is that she's not in it very much. But you know, I do hope that she's like a super successful hotshot, just like for her to have achieved a totally unrealistic amount of successful careers in the time since we last saw her. That would be pretty fantastic. I would enjoy that a lot. So anyway, by the time you're watching this, you probably know if any of what I said came true or didn't come true. I probably know at this point. I'm probably right now sitting there eating Chinese food and crying, and it's too much, it's all too much. But it's also just the best thing ever. I mean, I can't believe I'm actually days away from watching new Gilmore Girls. I feel like my life has been leading up to this point. So thanks so much for watching me drinking by myself. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if I got any of the predictions right. Comment below if you had different predictions and if they did or didn't come true. I'm going to turn off notifications on my phone while I'm watching so that I don't get any spoilers. So, you know, feel free to go mad down there. Hit subscribe for new videos every Friday. I will see you next time. Bye! Where you need, I will follow.